Hello ladies and gentlemen, Uncle Matt's Cookery Lessons here, and we're off to Spain this time for Fabada Asturiana, a wonderful pork and beans stew. Hello, I'm going to cook a dish from northern Spain, Fabada Asturiana. Anyway, I struggle very much with this pronunciation. Fabada beans. These are not Fabada beans, these are white haricot beans which are soaked overnight. If you can get them, they're great, they're bigger than this. That really makes the dish. But you know, butter beans might be very nice, but dried beans, soak them yourself, because this is all going to cook together in a pot for hours. I suppose it's northern Spain, close to southern France, so you've got the cassoulet influence from Toulouse, you know, the same sort of area. So pork and beans. The pork I'm using is some belly, nice slow cooking piece. I think shoulder would also be fine. Chorizo, cooking chorizo. They're supposed to have like this, like a boudin noir, like a black sausage, a black pudding basically, which I've got some British style one. This will break up under cooking, so I'm going to put this in at the end as more of a garnish. But if you can get hold of a slow cooking piece of black pudding with a skin on it, do that. Onions, garlic, saffron, paprika. This thing here, this is me. I can't help it. I've done a bouquet garni. All the recipes I've seen, I can't see a trace. Even though they have lots of different variations that go in them, none of them I found have any herbs in them. But I was trained in French restaurants where we use herbs all the time, so I apologise. I hope I don't offend any Spanish viewers of this video, but I just can't help myself. So bouquet garni is going in. Anyway, that's it. This is going to be great. I know it. I have no doubts this is going to be a stunning dish. I can't wait to eat it in about 4 or 5 hours time. So here we are, weighing out the beans. This is the night before I did this. Just cover them in water. Make sure, you know, covered and then a bit more. It's not measured or anything. Give it a stir around because it looks snazzy on the video. So that's in the fridge. This is the next day. This is me making a bouquet garni. So I have a bit of washed leek leaf, some strips of celery, some hardy herbs, bay leaf, sage, rosemary, thyme, a bit of parsley. Roll it up into a cigar, and you're going to get some string, and you do a much better job of tying a knot than I can do, because I didn't go to Cubs. My dad didn't want me to go. I don't think he trusted the scout leader. So while you see me struggling with that, this dish is credited for the re-colonisation of Spain, because the Asturian army feasted upon this before fighting the Moors, and that was in 718 AD. So there you go. That's how big it is. I suppose a bit like the Roman army marched on Minestrone, didn't they? So bouquet garni done. First step here is cover the beans in cold water, bring it to the boil. I just want to do that to get rid of some of it, maybe extra starchy bits. Then I'm going to drain that, so don't boil it for very long, just to the boil. Drain it, cover it with cold water again, and in with the rest of the ingredients. Now traditionally it would have, I think, pork shoulder. This is pork belly. I wanted that because I wanted that fattiness. Chorizo, yes. The onion I've just quartered, peeled it, and just peeled the garlic. Traditionally you would put the black pudding in at this stage, and that's called morcilla or morcilla, but the black pudding I have will just fallen to pieces. So in with the paprika, the saffron, the bouquet garni, which is not traditional, I add. So obviously if you don't want to break the rules, don't do that bit. And then lots and lots and lots and lots of olive oil. I didn't measure it, but you know, lots. And then you think that's enough, but a little bit more. Go on, yeah. Right, so several hours later, I've already checked that the pork is nice and soft. Taking the bouquet garni out, now I want to just make sure that these beans are properly cooked. So just give a little squish with the back of a spoon, and yeah, They're soft, they're squishy. So the meat's ready. If the beans were a bit hard and the meat was ready, or the other way around, you can always drain it, separate them back into the liquid and cook whichever one on a bit longer, you know. It'll be fine. But with slow cooking meat, go a bit further, it's okay. It's just going to break up a bit more, isn't it? So there you go. Let's hoik that bit of traditional English black pudding out. You can see already breaking up. And that, oh, look how tender that bit of pork belly is. That's looking really good. That, and the consistency is whatever you get. And if you think yours is a bit wet or a bit, you know, you can then cook it on, reduce it a bit. If it's a bit dry, you can add a bit more water to it. There we go. I had a taste. A little bit of seasoning, so I didn't season at all at that stage. And quite often you would use also, say, maybe like a pancetta in this. Obviously that's salty, so bear that in mind when you're seasoning as well. And I wanted a bit more olive oil just because I think it's lovely. So while I cut up the meat, I just put that back on the stove to keep warm, just to tick away. Let's cut up this chorizo and the pork into sort of manageable sized pieces, you know, something you could chuck in your mouth in one go. Look at that. That looks beautiful, that chorizo. Now with the pork belly, because I left the skin on, it's gone all gelatinous. I'm cutting that off. I'm taking that away. I don't mind it, but my lady would. She would not like that at all, so I took it off. Because, you know, you do these things, don't you, for the one you love. And then just in case you're wondering, yes, look how tender that is. Oh, I love pork belly. It's just so amazing. Thank you, pigs. I'm sure they're not happy about it. And this is the black pudding, and you can tell this is, again, it's a very good job. I didn't put this in earlier. It would have just broken into 1,000 little pieces. So I'm going to put the meat, but not the black pudding, back in the stew, just to, you know, get all acquainted again, get all those flavours mixed up together. It's looking lovely. Keep it ticking over, and then basically when you're ready to serve this thing. I also think this would look great just plonked in the middle of the table and let people help themselves, don't you? But there we go. So just a big, nice ladle full of it there. Got lots of pork. You can see the onion in little pieces. I think the garlic's just completely melted away. I didn't have any chorizo there, so let's correct that. And then a couple of bits of this black pudding. But if you've had the morcilla, you won't have needed to cook it all separately. Take a couple of pictures of it so it looks nice. Put a bit of bread with it because I think bread would be essential. And then, yeah, going to hand you back over to me for the tasting. All right then. How is it? What are the beans like? Oh, I love them. So I was thinking, I had to resist my French training background to put stock in this as well. Just water, no wine, just water. It's the most sort of simplest dishes to make. I like the fact that I haven't had to chop up the onion either, just bits of onion in there, and those beans are just wonderful. Okay, spoon. So that's how soft that bit of pork belly is now, just in there with a spoon. They've just melted. Wonderful. Chorizo. I always feel really pretentious calling it chorizo. It's chorizo. Anyway. And obviously, last but not least, the black pudding, which you can say it definitely would have fallen apart if I'd have had it cooking in there the whole time. But it's a lovely earthy flavour. I've kept it separate so my lady can have some because she really doesn't like the idea of the black pudding. And that is just a winner. It's really lovely. And of course you have a bit of bread for mopping up all that beautiful juice. Thank you, Spain, for such a wonderful dish. See you soon. Bye.